Hi, my name is Nate Cooper from Promax Systems, and I am going to be taking you through the Promax Platform Portable software, which is also the software we run for other platform devices, but today we're going to be going through Portable. So the first thing you might notice here in the software is that I am logged in through a web browser. So I'm just using Google Chrome right now, and I'm going to go ahead and log into this web browser. And we based our application on HTML for a couple reasons. Probably the biggest one is feature parity across both Mac and Windows, so you have the exact same user interface here. And the other reason is just for easy admin access. So this gives you the ability to search for and use the admin tools or the user software really from anywhere on your network. So let's go ahead and dig into the software. So there's a couple areas that we're going to focus on here: storage groups, platform spaces, and our search engine, our asset management tools. So let's start with storage groups. Storage groups are pretty straightforward. Storage groups are any storage that you're connecting to your Platform Portable. So in this case, we're looking at, right now, we've got a Mac formatted HFS Plus FireWire drive plugged into my platform here. And right now I'm actually on a Platform Studio, so I've got some internal Promax storage here as well. You can see our Promax logo there. But Platform Portable can work with any NTFS, HFS, FAT32, exFAT formatted drive. One of the cool things about this is that ability to work with existing storage. Not only is that very unique, but there's no custom formatting that happens on these drives. And this is really critical, and we'll see some benefits of that. But this means that you can plug a FireWire, USB, Thunderbolt, eSATA, whatever locally attached standard formatted drive into your Platform Portable, and you can now access that drive anywhere over the network. If you already have files on that drive, you don't need to reformat those. Those files are available over your network. And likewise, when you add more files to that drive once it's on your Platform Portable, when you remove that and plug it back into a local workstation at some point, all those new files are still there. So Platform interacts directly with HFS, NTFS, all the standard formatting drives, and keeps your files intact, which is really, really quite critical. So one other cool thing is not only hard drives, but a lot of our users use the storage groups concept to connect to various compact flash and various SSD, just various media that they're actually recording directly to. So you can attach directly a Red Mag reader, a CF reader, S/S, and those cards, when plugged directly into a Platform Portable, will show up and appear right in storage groups. And we're going to see some cool things you can do with that. So storage groups is where you see anything that's directly connected, and then that's going to bring us to platform spaces. Now, platform spaces, we'll see here we've got a couple tabs because we've got a couple different storage groups. And there's 5 different types of spaces. Now that may sound daunting, but I'll take you through them and it'll make a lot of sense. The first and kind of the core use of spaces is as a project space. And this is what most users are used to and looking for with shared storage. So I've got my Anaheim Ducks project space here. I can go ahead and mount this space. I just clicked on that, mounted it, and now it's going to mount just like a local drive. Now I've got my Adobe projects on here, Avid, Final Cut Pro, and I can work directly off of and edit directly off of my platform network now. So this is kind of the core shared storage aspect of the product. Now with project spaces, you're utilizing Platform's low latency protocol that allows you to stream video so well. So this is kind of our secret sauce, and this is why we get such great video performance. So if you look at our video stream counts, they're really superior to any other products on the market, and it is because of that low latency software that we've developed. Now, one cool thing with these spaces, as you're using these as project spaces, projects are dynamic things, and your volume structure has to be dynamic too. So we go back to that Anaheim Ducks space and we see it's starting to get a little bit full. I've not given myself a lot of space here, only 5 gigs, so I can actually go in and adjust the size of this space. Now what's so cool here is, if you'll notice, I'm doing this as an admin. I still have that Anaheim Ducks project mounted. And as you'll see, that dynamically grew even while that volume's mounted, and all of my project files, video files are still intact. So likewise, you can also go in and shrink those spaces. So again, there's a lot of dynamic ability to grow, shrink volumes, adjust them as needed. And it's pretty incredible to think about being able to do this while that volume is actually mounted, even to an end user. And it's pretty powerful stuff. So that's a few uses of platform as a project space. Where spaces get really cool is in this concept. This is one of my favorite features, the using a space as a backup. So any project, and we've all seen this, all of our customers have their most important projects. So again, let's go to this Anaheim Ducks. Let's say this is the project that I've got to get done. You know what? My boss doesn't care about RAIDs or storage groups or hard drives. And all he cares about is that my project, this Anaheim Ducks project, gets done. Well, with Platform, we've got some backup space functions built in. So this actually allows you to mirror to a second space. So in this case, I've got my Platform storage group, and I've got this Mac formatted FireWire drive connected. So I'm going to create a new space for this. I'll call that Ducks Backup. I'm going to create that. And once I have this new space created, I can now use that to back up my most important Anaheim Ducks project. So what does that look like? Well, let's right click on this, and we've got these data management tasks. And we're using a dynamic version of HTML, so I can actually do this within that interface. Go to data management tasks, and I'm going to select our mirror task here. Now what this is going to allow me to do is set up a source platform space. This is the master, and then a target platform space. So let's go find that Ducks backup. So I'm going to go ahead, I want this to happen fast, and I want it to start right away. I'm not going to schedule this. I'm going to go ahead and create that. Yeah, let's confirm that. All right, now we've got that task set up. Now I've got this mirror task for my Anaheim Ducks space. And now anything that happens, anything I do on my most important project will now be mirrored to this completely separate storage volume. And this is great. This allows your users to set up kind of real quick, kind of tier 2 backups without a lot of complex software. You don't have to be an IT admin to know how to do this. You can set these up in 30 seconds. And now I know if something goes wrong with this volume, with this space, I've got an absolute backup of that already set up, ready to go. It really gives creatives, editors, visual graphics artists, really gives your end users the ability to protect their own data, which is really great. I've got a lot of customers that have standardized on their editors are bringing in, their own FireWire and USB drives, plugging those back in, and there's some onus on the creative team to make sure they're backing up their own projects. So beyond backup, so backup's great, and backup's important for those projects that are active. So if you want to go beyond that, we've got some archive features that allow us to interact with our ProCache and PowerCache archival products. I'm not going to spend too much time on this right now, but what this allows you to do is set up a ProCache or PowerCache sync volume, which now anything that I drop in that sync volume can easily be archived to our LTO devices, the ProCache and PowerCache, for long-term data protection. So that's really critical in being able to store assets for a year, 5 years, 10 years. Very important. So we've got spaces as project spaces, backup spaces, archival spaces, and now we're going to get into our two last types of spaces, which are all about offloading processor-intensive tasks. And And this is actually pretty cool. So Platform has the ability not only to centralize your storage, but to offload some of the processor heavy tasks that just eat up your workstations. These tasks are transcoding and encoding, as well as rendering in both After Effects and Cinema 4D. So let's take a look at what this looks like. We're going to start with transcoding. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this transcode ingest folder, and I'm going to mount this transcode output folder. Now I've already set these volumes up, and this is all customizable. So as you can see, there's nothing in this transcode ingest, and there's nothing in transcode output. Well, I've finished a project and I'm ready to send this for delivery. So I need to transcode this to something small. So I'm going to grab my little game-winning goal video here, pop that in. And what's happening is I just copied that video folder to the platform, but if I go into performance, we've actually got real-time performance monitoring built into Platform. And this is pretty cool. This is really useful for troubleshooting. But what you saw there was, boom, those processors, those CPUs that we're watching right now popped up and were really being used for a second. So what that was actually the transcode happening on the platform itself. What's amazing about this is now we can go into that transcode output folder, and we've got a brand new video file here, that game-winning goal, in just a really small iPod format that I was looking for. This is nice and easy. This is small enough. It's 400K. I can email this now. Whether you're uploading that to YouTube or Vimeo, or whether you're doing Dropbox or email, whatever you're doing, you have the ability to remove that transcode off of the workstation and put that onto the platform. Now this is huge for so many of my clients, because what it does is it allows you to keep your creative workstations on creative tasks. So when you utilize the transcoding that's built into Platform, it allows you to send that transcode to the Platform server. The platform's crunching those numbers, but now your workstation is ready to move on to the next task. So it doesn't eat up that processing power of your creative workstation. Much in the same way, we've got the ability to offload After Effects and Cinema 4D renders to the platform. So as you can see, there's a few volumes with a little After Effects logo here. And any of these volumes we can right click on and go to Properties. This again was where we were changing the size of volumes earlier. And one of the options we have here is After Effects Render Space. Now what this does is this allows us to point to this volume, and actually After Effects will package all of its files together and send that render when you want to take a composition that you're working on and you want to render that out as a video file. It'll take that package, send it to the platform, just like with transcoding, and now the platform is going to crunch those numbers. The platform's going to launch After Effects actually on the platform itself, which is pretty cool. And then that's going to take that composition and render it out as a video file. And it'll put that video file wherever you specify. So again, just like with transcoding, this allows us to take these tasks that just kind of bog down our workstations and put those tasks on the server itself so that the creative workstations can stay focused on creative tasks. And we've all been here. We've all sat at a workstation and waited for an hour for a render to happen. And you can't do anything else with your computer when that's happening. So this has been, again, huge for a lot of my customers who have now been able to offload those renders. It's kind of like having a little built-in mini render farm. It's quite useful. So those are the 5 types of spaces and the 5 uses of spaces. Again, there's using them for projects to actually do your video editorial on, as backup spaces so that you can back up your most critical projects that you've got to work on right now, as archival to interact with our long-term LTO ProCache and PowerCache products, transcode spaces for any transcoding or encoding, having that platform handle that, and then again, After Effects and Cinema 4D rendering, so you can remove those renders off of your local workstations. So lots of uses with platform spaces, and again, this is all built into all of our platform products. We do have a couple different processor options. And there's some other videos to check out the differences between the Platform X and the Platform Y. But you do need the higher end processors to be able to handle things like After Effects and transcoding, because those are very CPU intensive tasks. So we're going to jump up here to our search engine. Now, one of the things, if you've ever worked with shared storage or network storage, or really even locally attached storage, we all have a massive amount of files, often spread over lots of locations, and it can be a real mess. It can be very daunting. There's a lot of asset management options on the market. A lot of them get very complex. So we've built something that's really easy to use and powerful. And there's 4 core functions that we're using asset management for. We're using it to index and search for your files, whether they're online or offline. To preview video files, again, whether they're online or offline assets. To access those files directly if those are available. And then to search for both embedded and to customize and search for our own metadata. So we're going to take a look at all of these things. So from the core aspect of indexing and searching, I'm actually going to pop back to Platform Spaces. And one thing I didn't touch on here, if we go back to that Anaheim Ducks volume, I'm going to right click on that. And in all of our Platform Spaces, we've got this option to include in search and generate proxies. So what does this mean? Well, if we select these options, I'm going to go a little bit deeper here into our admin tools. Our admin tools have the ability to specify what file extensions you want to search for and index, and what types of video files you want to make proxy previews of. Now this is really cool because we don't want to necessarily index every single file and every folder on our volume. Maybe we just want our MOV files. Maybe we just want our Final Cut Pro projects or our Adobe projects. You can specify exactly what you want searched and indexed, and especially with video files, exactly what you want to create proxies of. And we'll take a look at that. So I'm going to go back to my search engine, and because I've got a lot of spaces there that I'm already indexing, I can do searches and I'll just start finding stuff. It's like any search engine. It's like if you're using Spotlight on a Mac. I just searched for MOV and I found a whole bunch of files. Now I found literally hundreds of files. Now I can filter these down a little bit more. I've got a filter option. I can put beach in here, and I got a couple beach movie files. That's all fun. So we've got some options there. But again, let's go back to that just core search. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for Skyfall. Now I've searched for Skyfall and I've found a couple video files, and what you'll notice is that there's actually some play buttons next to some of these. So this actually allows me, anytime I see this little play button, I know there's a proxy that's been created of that video file. So what this allows me to do is create video files that I can preview. Now this video file, as we can see, is online. What's really cool, I'm going to search for GoPro. Let's find, actually here we go, I'll find one of these files. So right here I've got this video file, GWG, that's game-winning goal. Yes, that's my game-winning goal. So that file, actually you can see this file is offline. What's really cool about this is I'm previewing this video file even though it's offline. Nate's Media is not available right now. Nate's Media is an external hard drive that I've removed from the system, and I can still index, search for this file, preview, see the metadata that's attached to that file, see where that is, and it'll tell me exactly where that file is located. Now my hard drive, Nate's Media, that's sitting on the shelf, I can go grab that FireWire drive or USB drive, plug it in, and I've got access to my file. This is so useful for organizing, and I see this time and time again. There's sometimes 10, 20, sometimes I've seen literally facilities with hundreds of USB drives sitting on their shelves. This allows you to organize that media and see exactly what's where. Let's get into some of the metadata features. So with our custom metadata, so let's go to, I'm going to do a search for, I set some stuff up earlier, GoPro. So I've customized our metadata. So if I select this file, so I've got a couple files here, and these are both projects that I just did in my spare time for fun, using my GoPros. So I've added some metadata here: activity, scuba diving, driving. Client, this is for GoPro. Location, put in a couple keywords, beach and ocean, and then product, Hero 4. So now when I go in and do a search for Hero, I'm actually going to find probably more than just these. There's probably some other Hero stuff on there. And indeed I'm right. So we found that Shaw's Cove and the game-winning goal. We also found we've got a couple of our Hero shots from the Platform Portable product. This is searching in this custom metadata, so it's finding that Hero. So this allows us to, again, tag our files with relevant information. This is so useful and so helpful, especially when you have hundreds and even thousands of video files. Last but not least, what's really cool with this, so let's say we've searched, we found the file. Now, you can't do this if that file is offline, but if the file's online, you can either right-click and just open folder, or even just double-click on that video file, and that's going to mount the drive immediately and give you instant access to the folder where that video file exists. This makes it so easy for accessing your data. So again, these are really easy to use, customizable tools that are actually, the biggest thing here is everybody needs media asset management, and this is media asset management that's very simple to use, and my customers are actually using this right out of the gate. And again, all of this is customizable. I showed you some of the index and proxy customization, but again, if we go into the admin tool sets here, we can go in and customize what kind of metadata is being stored on those video files. So last but not least, I'm going to finish with some users and permissions stuff. We're getting down into the last bits here. Users are pretty straightforward. Of course, we can create users, set passwords. We do have the ability to create groups, which is really useful, especially in larger facilities. We do this often with universities and schools that we're working with. We'll create groups so that we can control group permissions. And permissions allow us to select users and give access to various platform spaces at whatever level we want. So we may only want our user Amy to have read-only access to everything. Maybe we don't want Josh to see the HD movie trailers because those are all Universal stuff and Josh is working on Disney stuff. So there's the ability to do all of that. But we've really taken permissions one step further into this concept of feature permissions. And this is really, really cool. So with feature permissions, not only can you customize who has access to what spaces, but you can customize who has access to what features. You actually have the ability to customize this user interface. So I'm going to go to admin, and as you can see, admin kind of has access to all of our functions, all of our features, both as a user and as an admin. But I've created this user Jack. So let's check out Jack. Jack has access to nothing except our search engine. And this is a really popular way to set up users. Well, why? So Jack is my chief marketing officer, or the VP of production, or Jack's somebody that is just reviewing and approving videos. So I'm going to log in as Jack, and again, this is where the fact that this is based on an HTML browser is so cool, because we can just bookmark Jack's permissions into his browser. I don't think I used the right password there. So we can bookmark platform on Jack's workstation. And he just clicks on that bookmark. And since we have the ability to integrate into an Active Directory if desired, Jack doesn't even need to remember extra passwords if he doesn't want to. So I've got access to nothing but my search engine here. Now Jack can come in and he just knows he's got to review that GoPro footage. So he does a quick search for GoPro, finds those files, he's clicking on them, and okay, let's play this video file. We're watching the ocean, this is all good stuff. And now Jack can go in and you can add a customized notes here. I didn't do this, but yes, use this one. You can save those notes. And again, this allows really easy access to non-creative users to be able to review and approve video files without the need to upload to a Dropbox or a Vimeo account or any of that stuff, which can just add an extra layer of complexity, and that takes up time. This is all about being efficient. So we've got some really cool abilities, and the cool thing about Platform is the ability to set up that customized user that only had access to the asset management tool set. That was an idea of one of my customers. So one of my customers came up with that idea because when you look at the 5 types of spaces, when you look at the different functions of asset management, I apparently can't talk and do passwords at the same time. When you look at the functions of spaces and asset managements and how you can use storage groups and bring media in and out of your facility, and how you can customize not only permissions as far as access goes to spaces, but also with your actual features. You can kind of use it as building blocks to create these customized workflows that are really quite useful. So that pretty much wraps up my Platform software demo. Again, all of this software is the exact same software on all of our products, so everything you've seen here is built right into our Platform Portable. And again, do be aware, the one caveat I will throw out there is do be aware there are the 2 different versions, the Platform Portable X and the Platform Portable Y. And that is important because that Platform Portable Y has the higher end processors to be able to handle the transcoding, After Effects rendering, ProxyGen, those types of features. So do be aware of that. So there is some difference because of those processors. But other than that, that should be about a complete look at the software and what you can do with Platform. If you have any questions, just email us at presales@promax.com. Thanks so much.